Right then, let's make a fancy beach box with a homemade tool. Right then, in the lathe I have a piece of beech that I'm going to kind of turn into a fancy box. Normally I use fancy wood, and I keep saying that pretty wood needs a simple shape and simple wood needs a pretty shape. Right, this is simple wood. Right, so first thing I'm going to do, right, I already stuck it in a chuck and stuff just to save time. Right, first thing I'm going to do is put the tenon on the other end. Now we're part off for the lid. And up until I get basically the box nearly done, this is going to be the same as a standard box, should we say. Give myself a little bit of room. Tailstock. Let me just take this piece off. Nice. Right. I didn't do that enough. That tailstock wasn't tight enough. Right, if that happens, right, I'll leave this in the video as I said, and I always do. Right, what happened was I hadn't got this tight enough. But what I can do is I can recenter it by loosening off that. Go back into the original tailstock hole, tighten that down again, making sure it's tight this time, and that'll still be perfectly round. So once I've done much, because you know, if I do something like that, I will always leave it in the video. Right. Loosen off that tailstock again. Part off the piece for the lid. Right, so we don't need that at the moment. Right. Now all I want to do on this is hollow it. And make it straight, and then we'll get on to the fancy bit of it. Right, so right, I'll set up for doing that, but first what I want to do is cut in the rim for the lid of the box. Right, so I know where to hollow. Now, the walls on this box have to be a little bit thick, and you'll see why when I'm using that homemade tool. I actually use a homemade beading tool, and first time I ever seen one used, it was Mike Walt who was using it. I thought that was a brilliant idea. Right, kind of thick walls because I need it for this. Now we'll drill it. Just check how deep I want to go. Need to leave room for parting off. I'm putting a dish at the bottom. So about there. So I need to go to around about the middle of that. Right then, you drill this out. There we go, we're all drilled out. Give it a quick blowout. Now, seeing as how I want this to be quite a chunky box, I'm just actually going to leave that's wide enough to drill, boys. That drill bit is wide enough for the box that I have in my head. So I'm not going to bother back hollowing it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sand and finish the inside of that. And I'll be back in a second. Right then, just buffing the wax off. Not worried, the boring bits will be over in a few minutes. Right, that's that part done for the moment. Let me throw the lid on. Where I put it? Right, it's faced off. Now we get it to fit this part. Right. Now, I don't want a pop fit on this. I just want a kind of a decent fit on it. So we'll nibble down to it. And we'll go what we know is way too big. Or what we hope is way too big. Right, just check the fit. Hopefully I still have to nibble down a little bit. I do. That might have gone too big. Did. Right, gotta get rid of that and go again. That's too big there. Rid of that. Right, now I'm going to move the macro camera because I was trying to stay out of the way and that's why I went too big there. Right. Big. Yep. Or should I say too small? Yeah, just take a tiny bit off. Check the size. Nope, more. Check again. Nearly. Now, I think I say this every time I'm doing something like this. If you wonder why I'm taking off so little, remember I'm taking off twice what I'm actually cutting because I'm cutting it from that side and I'm cutting it from that side at the same time. There we go. That's the fit I'm looking for. It's not moving, but it will come on and off. That's exactly what I'm looking for. Right. Now I just bring it down to the correct depth. Yeah, I've still got that fit. See the way it doesn't move, but I can just pull it on and off. That's exactly what I'm looking for. Grain match looks pretty good actually. Right, now I'll just hollow it in there. Right, now sand and finish in there. Let's double check that fit again. Yeah, bang on. Right, now I'll sand and finish in there and I'll be right back. Right, and just buffing the wax off the inside. The fit is a little looser than I'd like it, but I've seen worse. This one will probably just stay in the house. As I said, the fit's just that little bit looser than I would like it to be. Right. And there's the inside of that done. Now we'll grab the other end and stick it back on. Right then, just gotta round everything off. Make sure it's all even, all the way along. Just to make it easier on myself, I'm going to hit it quickly with a piece of 150. To make things easy on myself. Now, this tool that I'm going to be using, what it is it's an old spindle ground that I've ground into a word's gone. Sorry, this is the Lyme disease kicking in. It's not a cold, it's the other one. Anybody who's watched the channel a while knows what's going on. I'll be back in a second. Right, I'm back. I just had to go in and get something beside the wood. A beading tool. Now, what I want to do is I want to make that joint completely disappear. Now, as I said, this is an old spindle gouge. It got down too low to resharpen. So what I've done is on the back of it, I have ground an angle into it like that. This is the back of the tool, this is the front of the tool, right? I've ground an angle into it like that, which leaves that shape in it, right? Now the trick with these is you have to use them under center line, right? First person I seen, excuse me, first person I seen using one of these was actually Mike Walt, and I went, that's interesting. Now I'm going to move the macro camera for this so you can see what I'm doing. Right, and hopefully that's in shot because, as I've said before, there is no screen in this macro camera. As you can see there, I am below center line. Alright, and what I'm going to do is, with this point, I'm going to go into the joint. Right? I'm just going to push in. And then I'm going to, with this point, I'm going to go into this one. Right, and I'm just going to go along doing that. All the way along the box. And luckily the top worked out perfectly. Right, so we go all the way along the box using this tool. If you want a lot of beads close together that are identical, a tool like this is the way to go. Especially if you need them done quickly. But it does have to be sharp. And what I'm doing is I'm lining this tip up with the lowest part of the bead, of the next bead. And there is the beading done. Right, now I'm very gently, very gently going to sand that with 240 and finish it. So I'll be back in a sec. Alright, I'm just finishing buffing the wax off. Polishing the wax out of in between those was a pain. I basically had to go along with this over my fingernail and get it into each one of them very lightly like that. Right, but the overall effect that I'm looking for is there, which is you can't tell where it opens. Right. They all look identical. You can't tell where it opens. Right, so I'll take it off here, finish the two ends, and I'll be back to give you a better look at it. Right, there's no point in you watching me doing the two ends. It's simple. Right, so I'll be back in a sec. Alright, and there we have it. A very nice little box with a completely invisible opening. Right, and it actually tightened up just nicely when I was finishing it, so this one will be going onto the stall. Right, and once it closes, there is no way of telling where that opens. You see, the thing is, all tools don't have to die. They can be used for something else, right? And if anybody has any questions about making one of those beading tools, just drop it in the comments. Right, so I hope you enjoyed that one. If you got anything out of it, if you wouldn't mind leaving a like on the video, and I'll see you in the next one.